Listen, we knew that Donald Trump's speech was going to be full of lies. We knew it was going to be him trying to delegitimize the 2020 election. We knew this. I knew this, which is why I didn't watch the speech. When I did my video the other day, letting you all know that Donald Trump does not have the authority to have our senators, the two Georgia senators, removed from the Senate. He does not have that authority. He can call them illegitimate, but that's about all he can do. And I knew whatever speech that he was going to be giving on Thursday night, it was going to be an attempt to sow doubt within our elections. And we all know the reason why that he's trying to sow doubt within our elections is because he knows that millions of Americans are coming for his ass in November. Mark your calendars now. Voting day is November 3rd, 2026. You want to slow Donald Trump and his administration down? You need to make sure you need to prioritize and you need to make the necessary plans to get your ass into that voting booth on November 3rd, 2026. If your vote was not important, they would not be doing all of this to try to keep you from voting. Anywho, I just wanted to come in and say that. And I also wanted to let you know the only interference that took place here in the state of Georgia was from Donald Trump.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
What was the president asking you to do?
He was asking us to recalibrate or recalculate, I believe it was, recalculate, somehow get a different answer. But I'm an engineer, and anyone that's good with numbers knows you can calculate all you want, but the numbers are the numbers.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
But the words used by the president and the president's chief of staff, give me a break, cooperate, compromise. Were they asking you to join them in a conspiracy?
I guess maybe they were just trying to intimidate me and cajole me into something. It wasn't going to happen.
Again, I say the only person that tried to interfere in the elections that took place here in the state of Georgia is from Donald Trump and Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham also called down here to try to sneakily and passively interfere in our elections. Lindsey Graham, the late Lindsey Graham. And then all of his minions, they galvanized to come down here to the state of Georgia. Rudy Giuliani, that crazy Sydney lady, Jenna Ellis, and all the rest of them. That lady that used to work with Kanye West, right? They all galvanized and descended upon the state of Georgia to try to interfere in our elections. That's it. That's all. When I woke up this morning, I saw that both of my senators had spoken out in regards to the speech last night. Here's what John Ossoff had to say.
Tonight I heard a failed president desperately casting about for excuses to meddle in the upcoming election if he can, or to discredit the result when he loses decisively, as I expect he will. I heard a president who, as war spirals and as prices keep climbing for families across the country, is, as always, focused on his personal grievances, focused on his personal shame and humiliation, and above all, focused on his personal fear of the accountability that will come when we win this fall. But this is important, folks, and I want you to hear me out when I say this, because I also heard a president clearly signaling his intent to attack these elections and to undermine voting rights. And you know it's going to be right here in Georgia, the critical battleground state. Look, we have an opportunity this fall to deal a rebuke so decisive that no president will attempt abuses and corruption like this for centuries. That will be a great service to our republic. But he is signaling his plans to come right here to Georgia, attack the election and undermine voting rights. And I'm asking folks to take action right now. Grab your phone, grab your laptop, go to electjon.com, answer the president tonight overwhelmingly. Do this thing, chip in, join our team, help us get out the vote and protect voting rights.
That's exactly right. This is what Donald Trump is trying to do. He's trying to sow doubt in regards to our elections. And why is he trying to do that? Is any of this familiar to you? Are you having a deja vu? I'm having a deja vu because I remember back before the 2020 election, Donald Trump started sowing the seeds of doubt before election day. Yeah, he was telling his people that if he didn't win, then it was rigged. If he didn't win, then they stole the election. That's what he started to do before election day. And then when election day comes and he loses the election, he says, I told you so. I told you so. But his base was already primed. So when he lost, they were infuriated. And then they planned this rally at the eclipse. And before that rally came, all of the MAGA nuts, they weren't hiding it. They were out there, especially over there on TikTok. They were telling the world that something was coming, that they had plans. Marjorie Taylor Greene came bouncing down the steps, the White House steps, in black pants and a burgundy-ish top and a black jacket. And she says, we just had a wonderful meeting. This was before the rally at the eclipse. She said they just had a wonderful meeting about what they plan to do. They were all in on it. Remember, Donald Trump has pardoned all of those people that performed the first insurrection, the first coup attempt. They're all free, right? Some of them have reoffended and found themselves back in prison, but the bulk of them are free. Donald Trump gave them freedom. He pardoned all of them. So they're out here, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, the enraged MAGA nuts, right? They're all free. And so what is he doing now? He's again sowing doubt in the election. So when November 3rd comes, and if the Republicans don't overwhelmingly win, yeah, they're going to be incensed. They're going to be enraged. And then what is Donald Trump going to do? Coup attempt 2.0? Insurrection 2.0? Something is being planned. And that speech last night was the beginning steps of those plans. Anywho, we heard from our first fantastic senator. Here's our second fantastic senator.
So I just finished watching the president's speech. Let's just cut to the core, to what this is really about. This is not about 2020. It is about 2026. The president is rehashing his demented fantasies about an election being stolen in 2020 as a pretext for interfering in the election in 2026. This is what Donald Trump knows. He knows he's a failed president. He knows that his popularity is faltering. He knows that he is on course to lose in 2026. And instead of doing something about for the people, he's trying to interfere in our elections. Do not let Donald Trump convince you that he's already won. Do not allow him to intimidate you. Come November, we're going to hold Donald Trump and his enablers in Congress accountable. And there are no lies, there's nothing he can do to stop it.
As I stated at the beginning of the video, the only person that interfered in our elections was Donald Trump and the minions that follow him. But I came across this clip from John King over at CNN. I want y'all to watch it with me.
It feels a bit odd, a bit old to be standing here with this in July 2026. But we are a few minutes away from a speech by President Trump on election security. Sadly, we have no choice but to be skeptical when this president talks elections, because what he says, at least what he has said in the past, is often just not true. He still talks a lot about this one, rigged or stolen, he likes to say. So let's take a quick trip back in time. Number one, Joe Biden won. 306 electoral votes to 232. You know how this works. The blue states went Biden, the red states went Trump. So after, the president, of course, said it was rigged, said it was stolen, said he was going to fight, filed a lot of lawsuits, more than 60 lawsuits. And so in many states, why in many states? Well, let's say, for example, the president had won a case in Georgia. That would have changed the math, but not enough. Joe Biden's still the president. So let's say the president won his case in Arizona. That would have changed the math, but not enough. Joe Biden still would have won the election. So maybe Pennsylvania. That would have been it. It would have taken at least 3 states, lawsuits in at least 3 states to go Trump's way to change the election results, which is why those lawsuits were filed in so many of the battleground states. But as we switch to the other map here, let's go through some of that. The challenge for the president tonight is to look forward and talk about new things, right? Because of why? Well, let's go through some of those lawsuits. In the past, when the president has said rigged elections, judges have told him, sorry. Let's go out to Arizona. Let's look here. This is the case versus the governor out there, filed by Trump allies. The judge said this: allegations that find favor in the public sphere of gossip and innuendo cannot be a substitute for earnest pleadings and procedure. In other words, you did not make your case. In Pennsylvania, bring this up here. Here we go. Trump versus Pennsylvania. This judge was appointed by Donald Trump. This is a unanimous decision of the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. Free, fair elections are the lifeblood of our democracy. Charges require specific allegations and then proof. We have neither here. That, a Trump-appointed judge in Pennsylvania. There were more, but let's just finish with Georgia and bring up this ruling. Again, a Trump appointee here on the federal bench in Georgia versus the Secretary of State. This is Lynn Wood, a Trump ally, filed this suit to halt the certification at literally the 11th hour would breed confusion and potential disenfranchisement that I find no basis in fact and law. Again, there were more than 60 of these. Most of the judges threw them out with scorn. That was 2020.
He had no legitimate proof back in 2020, 2021 that the election was stolen. And in 2026, he still has no legitimate proof that the election was stolen back in 2020. And the information that he has put out there, I understand that it is more proof that Russia meddled in our elections back in 2020.
You have to see this. The guy that Trump hired to investigate elections just admitted on camera after his speech tonight that there's no evidence the 2020 election was unfair, and then he got rushed away from journalists by Trump's team. Just take a look.
Did you acknowledge that there were no votes changed in 2020?
All I can acknowledge is what the intelligence shows, right? I only know the intelligence committee has zero evidence that someone has flipped, that a foreign power flipped a vote in 2020, 22, or 24.
And you have you're able to
We're now through all the documents.
You're able to acknowledge that Venezuela has not tampered with voting machines in the United States.
No, the intelligence is very clear. They did it on their own machines. Why is it important that they did it on their machines? Their machine protocols are the same as America. Why? Because for a long time they did exactly
And so the 2020 election was in fact the results as the American public.
I'm still researching, so let me. This is the first one.
But there's no intelligence.
Not yet.
There is no intelligence that the election would have said that Donald Trump was
the president said that tonight. Thanks, Trump.
And when you look at that, they all rushed him away as soon as the truth slipped out. He admitted 3 things in that video: that no votes were changed in 2020, no machines have been tampered with, and they have no intelligence right now to suggest that the 2020 election was unfair. Hey, MAGA, that's Donald Trump's own guy saying that. Now, he's probably going to get fired tomorrow for saying it, but nonetheless, John Solomon, this man right here, said it on camera.
Oh, you better believe he's going to get fired. He could say goodbye to that job. But I appreciate him for speaking the truth. There was no election interference. The only election interference that took place was from Donald Trump and his minions. Yeah, mark your calendars now. Let's make November 3rd, 2026, let's make it too big to rig. Isn't that what Donald Trump says? Yeah. Let's make it too big to rig. Let me know down in the comments. Answer my question. Will you be voting on November 3rd, 2026? And let me caution you, all of you that like to get down in the comment section to antagonize. You get down in my comment section telling me that you're not voting, baby, I will block you. Yeah, I don't want you people in my space. Yeah. Have a good day.